If anybody ever asks you, why do you love football? Just show them this weekend's playoff games, because that could have been one of the more exciting NFL weekends in recent memory. For the first time since 2010, we saw both number one seeds fall in the divisional round. Both those games ended on last-second field goals. And then yesterday, we saw the Rams upset Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. That was followed up by one of the best playoff games that I've ever seen. Josh Allen and the Bills battled it out with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. The two teams combined for 25 points in less than 2 minutes, ending the fourth quarter. And yes, we can all say it together. NFL overtime sucks. But this is what happens. It depends on which team you were rooting for. Because if Buffalo won last night, I don't think I would be hearing as much, I hate NFL overtime. If Buffalo got it and scored a touchdown, then I don't think anybody's going to go, overtime is really interesting there. If Tom Brady lost in overtime and, the Rams went down and scored, I don't think anybody would be shouting from the mountaintops. It's the likability of the teams. That's the difference here. But this weekend gave us one of the more exciting NFL playoff slates. But really, it's a not-so-subtle reminder. You can have success during the regular season. You can get home field advantage. But that's about all it guarantees you, because you had 3 of the road teams winning. All right, we'll come up with a poll question. Who's doing the honors today? Fritzy is.
Yeah, I can grab it.
Okay, all right.
Are you ready for some?
This is, this is how it works here.
Welcome back, Todd.
Yeah.
All right, the Packers lost because of their special teams play or Aaron Rodgers. That's one of several polls.
Ouch. Yeah, Paul.
After the Packers lost, the blame was being put squarely on Aaron Rodgers. But if you really look at the football of that game, the reason they lost is blank. 2 special teams plays or a lack of offense after the first drive.
There didn't seem like there was any urgency to the Packers offensively. It just felt like, hey, all right, we went down the field 7-0. This should be easy because that quarterback's not going to beat us here in this weather. Not going to happen. And, Garoppolo is non-threatening. Deebo Samuel, very threatening. And you had a couple of miscues on special teams in that costume. I just felt like, when you're the number one seed and you go into those kind of games and you're facing somebody who has been, clawing just to get into the postseason, and then they have a really great performance against the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys, when you watch the Niners against them, you're like, wow, they've been in playoff mode. And then you get to Lambeau, and I thought, okay, Green Bay scores right away, and I go, okay, good. They're not going to take their foot off the accelerator. They're in playoff mode. And then that was it. Like it's almost like, hey, we scored a touchdown. Now let's go 55 and put it on cruise control. And that's what they did. And then all of a sudden you kind of look up and you go, San Francisco's not leaving. They had the block kick. They had some clutch moments there. And I thought that was kind of telling with Green Bay. And I don't want to get into, is this Aaron Rodgers' last game? I've said all along, I thought he was going to play this year, but was going to leave after this season. I felt that all along. Tom Brady, it certainly felt like there's a groundswell that maybe he played his last game. And then you realize he has told the Buccaneers last year he was going to play till he's 45. He wanted to be like Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan pitched till he was 45. Tom said he wanted to play till he's 45. But we have time to look into those topics a little bit further here. So the Bengals beat the Titans, Niners over the Pack, Rams beat the Buccaneers, and the Chiefs over the Bills in overtime. Here's some reaction after that game last night. Here is Andy Reid.
Listen, we just all were part of a better game, the National Football League, and we were lucky to come out on that end of it. Guys battled their hearts out, both teams. I was proud of our guys for getting in there for 4 quarters and gutting it out. There were some huge plays made. Listen, it was a great game. I'm just kind of sorting it all out right now.
And here's Patrick Mahomes after the performance.
It's actually funny. A couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I was talking to Mike Rimmers because he was in the Minnesota Miracle, and the final play, scoring the touchdown, winning the game at home. And he was talking about how awesome the environment was. To be in this moment, this game against that team, and to make a play to walk off a game at Arrowhead, I'll remember this for the rest of my life.
And then there's the other side of the field. Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, on walking off after the loss.
It was tough, and to be in that moment. Again, had a lot of respect for Pat. He throws a winning touchdown and he comes straight over and finds me, to be in that situation and to do that. That was pretty cool of him to do that. And obviously it sucks the way it happened. We wanted to win that game. We had our opportunities, and taking it all in and holding on to that feeling and making sure that, we don't feel like this again.
Yeah, and you couldn't help but feel for Josh Allen, because I was critical of him when he first was the starting quarterback. It just didn't feel like he had a good feel for the game, his accuracy, some decisions there. But, man, you realize they're in good hands. He's only a year younger than Patrick Mahomes. But when he starts to scramble, that is a weapon. And I have been extremely impressed with what I've seen with Josh Allen. But Patrick Mahomes, that's just different. Remember a long time ago, at least it seems a long time ago, maybe it wasn't that long ago, when we had people saying they'd take Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes. And I went, slow down. If you stand by it, that's great. But I said, let's just let it play out a little bit here. Justin Herbert's a wonderful talent. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a different cat. Josh is a wonderful, or Justin is a wonderful player. Josh Allen's a wonderful player. But you have somebody who's just a little bit different there. And let's take Brady and Aaron Rodgers out of the equation here. Lamar Jackson is not right there yet. Joe Burrow is there. I think Joe Burrow is 25. You got a lot of guys who are 26. I think Mahomes is going to be 26 or 27. Josh Allen, I think, turns 26 in May. Joe Burrow is there at 25. I mean, you got some really good young quarterbacks there. But you forget how good Mahomes can be. And he's got weapons. I get that. But the other thing that it shouldn't dawn on me, but it did. These games are won with your offensive and defensive lines. I mean, that's it. For the most part, you put pressure on the quarterback. You don't put pressure on the quarterback. I mean, the Rams' defensive line was just better than the Buccaneers' offensive line. I mean, the Titans should have won the game if you look at what their defense. They had 9 sacks. 9 sacks against Burrow. And we were wondering, when you start to think about this, Joe Burrow is the only quarterback to win a playoff game while being sacked at least 9 times. Ever. That was amazing.
Stat of the day,
Wow.
Of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that
What?
Stat of the day.
Yeah, just got blindsided by that. Thank you, Seton.
Like Von Miller coming around the end there.
All right, so poll question: we're gonna skew Aaron Rodgers, Packers. Got anything else there, Todd?
We also have the Bills lost because they couldn't stop Mahomes with 13 seconds left, or the OT coin flip.
Oh, the coin.
Can of worms.
Yeah, I know. When you have the coin toss, historically, with the new NFL rules in overtime, the team that gets the kickoff or the team playing defense, who normally wins? The team that gets the ball first, 10-1 in the postseason since 2010. That's when the current overtime rules went into effect. And I want to ask Albert Breer, the Monday morning quarterback, their football insider, are there options on the table? Have there been options on the table? Is there a more fair way to do this? I know that we always look at the college overtime rules. I think they're trying to reduce the number of plays that you're going to have that are extra. They want to cut down on contact. At least it felt like that was an initiative a while ago. But do we change it? We only change when, there's an outcry. But I mean, it's Buffalo. Buffalo could have easily won the toss. And, it was Josh Allen who's the one that, said tails. They ended up losing it. And he doesn't lose those coin tosses. I think he's got a pretty impressive record. But are we going to blame this on Josh Allen because he called tails here? It was a wild night. It was a great weekend. It felt like it just kept building. Bengals, Titans, and all of a sudden you go, the Bengals are going to the AFC title game. Great ending. Not a great game, great ending. And then you started to see that build. And then you had the Niners and you had the Packers, and you go, the Niners are going to beat the Packers. And you had the Buccaneers against the Rams, and you kept thinking, oh my gosh, this is either going to be, the Rams are going to blow them out, or Tom Brady's going to do it again. He's going to falconize the Rams here. And he almost did. That secondary, though, with the Buccaneers, man, oh man, I'd hate to be in that film session because they looked clueless. Cooper, has anybody seen Cooper? No. How many times did that happen? Like, how does Cooper Kupp surprise you? He had 1,800 yards. He let in catches, touchdowns, yards. Has anybody seen Cooper? No. You can't have that happen. And you got Todd Bowles, their defensive coordinator, who, his scheme won the Super Bowl last year, and he's up for a head coaching job. Like, how does that happen, the miscommunication? Horrible. Cost him. Because if that had gone into overtime, Tampa Bay was winning, in my opinion. But every game seemed to get better, and then you had last night.